Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where I play a game in the background while I talk about something else in the foreground, I guess, or maybe vice versa, I'm not really sure. But today the topic that I wanted to talk about is masking. And the way I find myself masking is I mask so much, particularly in my face, that I don't even show much emotion, even though there are emotions obviously under the surface. But like, I had to make a video the other day and I had to be in the video myself, and I thought that I was being expressive and smiling and stuff like that, but when I looked back, it was like the entire middle section of my face appeared just frozen. And then I tried it again sometimes, like trying to actually really move that area, but still, even if I tried really hard to make it expressive looking, it only really came across as meh, like not angry, but not excited, not happy, that type of thing. Like the only thing that really moves much when I'm trying to get all excited about something is my eyebrows for some reason, but the middle section of the face is just kind of frozen. So I've been masking so much apparently that I'm turning into a little bit of a mannequin in that sense. And that, I think, is also one of the reasons why people tend to pick me out from the crowd, like they know something is off or different, because I think I'm having normal facial expressions, but really half my face is just kind of frozen in that. It can move, there are muscles there, obviously it's not like I have some type of paralyzation going on, but it's just not something that I do. And maybe because I haven't done that or have tried to keep it still for so long, that part of the face is just not used to moving along with my normal gestures or my normal speech pattern. So that is weird, and I'm not sure if this was always the case. I mean, growing up, of course, I had a certain couple of friends from school, etc. They never actually said much about what my face looked like, and from what I can tell, they didn't care much either. And I didn't really get set aside much. Like, people didn't necessarily look at me and go, oh, that one's weird or that one's different. At least I don't recall it that way. Maybe they did, but then in a different way. Like, I've definitely heard all of the, oh, she's just shy, or oh, she'll grow out of it, or it's just a phase type of thing, or she's really just fond of just a few people and tends to stick to those. Those types of comments would be used quite a bit by my parents and people around me. But not that my behavior or my facial expressions really drew any type of attention. Now, what I did get a lot of was I would get startled by loud or unexpected noises, which I've always done. And then people would comment like, oh, haha, you must have something on your conscience, because else why would you jump like that? You know what I mean? And they meant that as a joke, but it is like a thing that people tend to say to each other, like, oh, you must have something bad in your conscience, like something really weighing you down if something suddenly startles you like that, when it's actually something very innocent or whatever. So that always made me feel a little bit awkward, like wondering, did I do something? Why am I jumping? Like, if that's the only reason why people do that, according to these other people, of course, at the time not really realizing that what that was supposed to be a joke, I was like, what did I do that I'm not aware of? Or am I just a bad person or something along those lines? Like, as a kid, you start to think these things. Like, when grown-ups around you keep saying these things, like repeating it over and over again. Oh, she's shy, she's timid, she's this, she's that. Oh, they must have a bad conscience because they keep jumping whenever there's a loud noise. Like, what did you steal? Like, that tends to leave an impression on a young child's mind. And I'm thinking that the masking that made me freeze my face is because I do have like usually a fairly vivid internal monologue, but I don't want to be like mouthing what I'm thinking, basically. So I've been keeping my face in check to not draw too much attention to that. And of course, been trying to keep my facial expressions neutral, because resting bitch face is a thing with a lot of people, but also with people on the spectrum, it tends to be quite bad. So in order to combat that, I've subconsciously developed a sort of a Mona Lisa smile, but also the middle face tends to be frozen, like I said, like that's just a thing. So then I get this very awkward, I guess, robot-like expression, like nothing much changes. And I guess initially people see me and they think I'm smiling, they'll smile back. And then I kind of look at them like, oh, you're smiling at me? That's kind of weird, because I'm not consciously smiling. I'm just like walking around. People either smile at me or they don't. And sometimes people actually get offended when they see me like walking around with my Mona Lisa smile, because I think that I'm trying to be like, I don't know, rude and like making fun of them or something, which I'm not doing either. I'm just walking around doing my thing, being myself. And I kind of lost my train of thought there. But the thing is that in order to control, at least try to control the reactions that people have to me, and try to keep my facial expression somewhat neutral so that they don't think that I'm angry or something along those lines, I've gotten this facial expression that's kind of there most of the time that doesn't actually mean anything, but it's also difficult to break out of. And that's why I wrote down masking to mannequin on my little note here that I keep for when I want to talk about next. Because it's kind of like I've had Botox or something in the middle of my face, but then for free. Although free, it's kind of like I spent years and years trying not to move any muscles there, and so they kind of gotten lazy. I guess in that sense they do still work, but I have to really focus on moving them in order for them to move. But yeah, that kind of rubs people the wrong way sometimes. And when I do have a bit of a resting bitch face, it's a lot of a resting bitch face. Like my eyes start to droop a little bit, like the eyebrows go very level. And then if my Mona Lisa smile also kind of goes away, then that in combination with the frozen middle face, basically, I would look really angry. And I'm not angry at all. And that kind of reminds me of how I used to have this teacher. I used to go to this school to become like a pharmacist assistant, like a trade school type of thing. And I would go to this class where we had to learn how to mix all these different chemicals together in order to make medicine and all that sort of thing. Very interesting class. But the teacher there, for some reason, always picked on my facial expression. Like I would be doing something, like focusing on what I'm doing, like focusing. Okay, that's also one of those situations where you tend to get a lot of resting bitch face because you're focusing on something. And she would just walk up to me and go, "Oh, you're grumpy already, I see. Well, what's going on now?" And I'd be like, "I'm not grumpy." I would get grumpy because people would tell me that I look grumpy, but I'm not. So that's kind of like a bit of an offense thing. Like, why are you saying that I'm this when I'm not? Like that type of thing. So I'd get angry about that. And then I'd be grumpy. And then, of course, she has proved her point, etc., etc. So I never really got along with that teacher for some reason. Well, the reason's obvious, but she never actually just approached me as a neutral person and just looked at what I was doing. She would always comment on my face, and that was really, really frustrating. Now, I didn't quite do very well in that school in particular, so it was already quite stressful for me to try and keep my grades up and all that sort of thing. And then I also had this teacher also kept picking on my facial expressions, which I kind of felt like wasn't really in my control. Like I could also stand there and have a huge fake smile on my face, maybe. I didn't try that, but she probably would have commented on that as well. It's kind of like when you're on the spectrum, you're trying, and that's also what masking is, you're trying to appear normal. And when people comment on what your normal is at that point, how that's not normal, you're like, okay, well, what is it then? And you start trying out different things and people react to that. And there's never really a normal that you can strike that everybody is agreeing on that is the correct normal for you to have on your face. I don't know, it's just weird and annoying. But anyway, so I just noticed that the middle part is very much frozen and mostly my eyebrows move and of course my lips move when I'm talking, but other than that, not much movement is going on except for my hands. But I try to control those as well in public because you don't want to be like waving at people whenever you're just talking about random things. That looks weird. So basically that's also the whole thing. Like I'm trying not to look weird and then I end up looking weird. And that's what masking is from my point of view. At least it is for now. And honestly, some people say you should stop masking, but I don't know what that looks like either. And I'm pretty sure it wouldn't look too different now because I've spent so many years putting this mask on that it's not just going to fall off by itself just because I don't want to do it anymore. So that would take a very long time, and then who knows what that would look like. And I feel like I probably would just replace one mask with the other, which I then think is my authentic self, which I'm not even sure if that's true or not. So that's my thoughts for now on masking. Make sure to leave your thoughts about masking in the comments below because I'd like to hear what you guys think on topics. In any case, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and bye-bye for now.